WCB Podcast, your source for all things Chicago Blackhawks and everything hockey. With your host, Jarom and Tanner. Let's do it. Jarom and Tanner.
All right, it's another just the WCB Podcast. It's Jarom. It's Tanner. What's up, bud?
I mean, what is up? What is going on here?
Well, literally, as we're doing our prep for the show, I said I had like three things written down, and the main one being what the fuck is going on. We're taking our normal format for our show and just throwing it in the trash because I think we all need a little rant therapy session with what the fuck is going on with the Chicago Blackhawks this year. So far.
Yeah, I mean, at least for the last 2 weeks, huh?
So last 2 weeks, since we last recorded, they had played 5 games.
Yep.
They are 1-4,
Which is
with
crazy because it could be so much easily a different record.
yeah. And they have scored a total of what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 goals in those 5 games.
Yep. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Not only so they've scored 6 goals. They've given up 15 total, which sounds terrible, but 5 of those 15 are empty net goals. So even though that they've won a game and lost 4, they still gave up 5 empty netters because there was 2 against Vancouver. The craziest, dumbest shit is if the Hawks score just 2 goals in each of these games, they still win the one game outright, and that's in regulation at that point. And then they get at least a point, more than likely a point, in the other 4 games. Except, sorry. There was, in the other three of those games. Because I think there was only one game that, I think it was Dallas, where they actually had 3 before an empty netter. Or not 3, but like 3-1,
Yeah. Well,
Which
Detroit,
is
they lost. Yeah, Detroit was 4-1. Dallas was 3-1.
Oh, was it Detroit?
Maybe it's
Detroit might have been the one.
Yeah.
That's right. I think it is
Minnesota
Detroit.
2-1.
I think it was Joe Veleno scored the 3rd goal of that game, and I'm right. And then Andrew Kopp got an empty netter that game.
They beat Minnesota 2-1 in overtime. They
Yep.
lost 3-1 in Seattle, lost 4-1 in Vancouver. Lots of what the fuck? What is the mindset right now in this team? But let's acknowledge the one bright spot in this team right now. You talked about how they allowed 15 goals and all this kind of stuff, and immediately people are probably jumping on the goalies. That's not the fucking case. The goalies are the only reason why it was only a 15 goals against, or what is it, 10 technically?
10.
Yeah.
It's really 10.
In 3 games,
they've only given up 10.
Yeah, in 3 games. So during that span, Mrazek took 3 games. He went 1-2, 927 save percentage. Soderblom went 0-2 with a 943 save percentage. So, I mean,
yeah, 2 goals against average and a 2.03 goals against average. If you're getting 2, literally a 2 goals against average, you should be winning these games.
And it's so frustrating because it's like they're doing so fucking good.
Yeah.
Especially Soderblom. He is already behind the 8 ball with the fans and all that after last season.
Dude,
because
he's so good. He's so good this year.
Yeah.
And the shit that was driving me crazy last year is everybody what I don't know what you're expecting. The team's not good defensively. Mrazek's still just being a really good bright spot. And then this year it's okay, Soderblom kind of has settled into okay, I know what I need to do. I don't know. And honestly, is it still Jimmy Waite is the goaltending coach? Maybe he's got something going on here.
Let's see.
I'm pretty sure he is. I'll Google it real quick.
It's worth a Google.
Jimmy Waite. Yeah, Blackhawks goaltending coach. Yep. Dude, he's working magic.
Yeah, I mean, goaltending is just it's the bright spot, and I mean that's saying a lot for me to come out and say that, because I'm on team goalies are irrelevant. I mean, no, they don't matter, but like like it has been fun to watch these guys, and it's like it's nice actually being like, oh shit, the goalie's gonna bail us out. Where I felt like
Oh
years
yeah,
before it was like, oh, our defense is gonna bail us out, or the forwards are gonna bail us out. Now it's like, okay, the goaltending's gonna bail us out. Like this team, I don't know how many games these guys have saved from just pure embarrassment,
yeah,
even past this 2-week span.
it could have easily been way worse.
So, I mean,
It's
there's the
so
positive there. Now the laundry list of negatives. I mean, I guess we should do some housekeeping real quick. Seth Jones went to the IR.
Yep.
It was a right foot
Yeah,
injury.
great foot
Yeah,
injury, which it happened in one of those West Coast games.
I think it was the
Was it
Seattle
Seattle?
game. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was late that game because I didn't catch it.
So there's that. He was placed on injured reserve. I think they were only saying day to day, kind of. So probably sometime next week. I think it's a week from Saturday. This is what 7 days for IR.
Maybe I think so.
Yeah. So, um, then we had some interesting line choices or roster moves decisions by Coach Richardson,
Yep.
coming from Sunday against Vancouver, Saturday against Vancouver when he healthy scratched Taylor Hall,
Yeah.
and apparently blindsided Hall.
Well, I was
No
gonna
idea he was
say
coming.
even before that, they sent Athanasiou down.
That makes more sense though.
Yes.
Like
And I don't know if you
that happened. Yeah, I forgot
did you
before the last.
see as well that Athanasiou's out like was it
Yeah,
8 to 10 weeks?
hand injury.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, hurt his hand. He was tearing it up, man. First game, he scored, I think, like 28 seconds into it.
I mean,
First
that's
game
a
with
good 4 to
Rockford.
6 weeks. I completely doubled that injury time. Oh my god.
And it doesn't matter. 4 to 6, 8 to 12. Who really cares at this point?
Yeah.
Um, but no, that one made sense because he wasn't playing. He wasn't cracking the lineup. You
Yes.
gotta get him playing. You gotta get him some playing time, even if it was just a conditioning stint. Get him down there. Kind of, it was almost like a over exaggerated version of Reichel. Send him down
Yeah.
there, find his game a little bit, and hopefully it wakes him up and he can get called back up and do some damage. But now, I mean, obviously that's going to be delayed even more with the hand injury.
Yeah, I mean, typically you don't see that with like veterans like that, but it makes sense. The type of role that he plays is just being done better by everybody else that's already on the team. So
Right.
why not have
And
him go down, help out the young guys down there?
I think we all brought it up when that news happened was our response was, oh shit, that's right. He is on this team still.
Yeah.
I think we all forgot that he even was still on the team because he didn't play. He only played 5 games at that
It was
point.
yeah, it was pretty funny because I was literally thinking about him earlier that day. I was just like, oh, I wonder if he's getting back in. And I was like, nope, guess not. Not happening.
Nope, going down to Rockford. But the funny thing too is when he got sent down, I think it was Scott Powers tweet out. It's like, it's going to be good for Nazar to have a veteran presence to really help out his offensive game. And I'm like, Nazar was like at that point over a point per game player.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think Nazar was okay. I think he was
I,
fine. I don't think he needed
I
too much
think
help.
he's got a handle on it.
He's got a hand on it. If it was any other season, I think he'd be already called up at this point.
Yeah. Jeez. I'm just
So
looking at all the stats. Oh, it's so frustrating. I brought this up to you before, but in the 2 weeks, um, of the past 2 weeks, no team has really given up fewer goals, like not including empty net goals, than the Hawks, other than the Minnesota Wild. And I'm not including the Tampa Bay Lightning because for whatever reason they've only played like 3 games. But it's just if you're giving up the fewest amounts of goals at all during any span, you should be winning these fucking games. Like, it's driving me crazy.
But I mean, the problem is, it's just their fucking offensive game has just disappeared.
They're shooting 4% in that last 2 weeks. Like, not only are
Not
they
good
shooting
enough.
4%, they're because again, I'm not going to include the Tampa Bay Lightning because for whatever reason they've played fewer games than everyone. They're second to last in shots for per game, or just shots at all. And so they're shooting 4%. The last place team would be Buffalo, and Buffalo is still shooting 16%. So they had 19 goals, and the Hawks have 6.
What was the time frame that you had for that?
Oh, I'm doing it from November 6th. So that's the
So
day
through today?
through today. So it's the Detroit game through today.
Well, I mean, the Hawks. There's more teams that have less goals against than the Hawks in that time frame.
I'm not including
Oh
empty
yeah,
netters.
I missed that part. Sorry,
Yeah.
my bad.
Because the Hawks have 5 empty netters, so they really only have 10 goals against, like, through regular play. Like, that's how good the fucking goaltending's been.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, it's hard to say like, oh yeah, it would be so much worse with the goaltending because I mean, this team's in last place. They're 32 out of 32 right now. It's looking like another lost season at this point. I mean,
It's
not like it was
not.
not
It doesn't
not
need to be because, like, as long as your shooting percentage can just increase, just score 2 fucking goals in these games, and you all of a sudden are getting at least a point. Like,
But so then here's the question though. It's like what has to happen to make that change? Because it's like there's so many things that it's like there
I'll
are
tell you what needs
well,
to
there's
happen.
because there's so many like different like what the fuck is going on? Like I know we keep saying this, like the what the fuck is going on, but it's like from line shuffling to Bedard being completely snake bitten
Well, he's
to
not just snake bitten, he's not getting shots. He's only taken like 5 or 6 shots in those 5 games that have at least gone on net because he only has like 1 registered shot in a few of those games and 2 in like one of them. And that's it.
yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too. I kind of was telling you about this the other day, and I'm like, you see the videos of him getting like frustrated, breaking sticks, and palms up, like what the fuck. But at the same time, it's like, dude, you're not taking the shot. You're trying to force the pass. You're not doing like you're overthinking it and you're doing it. It's like you have to just simplify and play your game. Like you're fucking Connor Bedard. Like you have this aurora already, like of what this player can be, and the like I don't know, is the pressure just too much for him, and he's just trying to live up to this next McDavid Crosby type
I,
character? Is that gonna get to him? Like it's just I don't know what's going on.
I think it's more of just like he probably feels like nothing that he can do is going in. But I feel like the second he scores a goal, he's going to have like a flood of points come through. Um,
You'd
but
hope.
speaking of shots, like in these past 5 games, uh, the team lead in shots is Ryan Donato with 20 in those 5 games, and then it's Teravainen with 11, and then Bedard with 9, and then guess who's fourth? I'll give you 4 guesses to
Seth Jones.
to see if you can get who number 4 is. No.
Oh, I thought you were just being specific with the number.
No, I was just like, I don't want it to take too long.
With how many shots?
He's got 8 shots.
Patty Maroon,
No.
Reichel,
No.
Fligno.
No. Do you want to keep going, actually? Like, I don't think you're going to get this.
Vlasic.
Nope.
That's my 4.
Yeah, that was actually 5. But
Oh, was it?
it's Wyatt
Yeah,
Kaiser.
No shit.
Yeah, dude, Wyatt Kaiser's getting the puck on that. He wants his first NHL goal. Also, he's a +1 in the last 5 games. That's kind of funny. Um, yeah, it's funny to me that I guess it's just like he's hitting the net, right? Because like whenever we say like these guys are the ones taking shots, it's kind of misleading because like registering a shot, like it has to have a chance of going in. That doesn't mean that Bedard's not shooting. It just means like he's only getting some of these on net, where other ones where he's probably taking shots are either getting blocked, tipped, or just missing the net. So it's frustrating, but like if it's not getting through, it's not going in. And so like
Yeah.
you need to keep getting shots. You need to keep getting them on net, and something will just eventually go in. It doesn't have to be perfectly placed. It's gonna be some flub ass goal that's gonna go in, that's gonna kind of make him relax, and then the kid's gonna start ripping.
Well, and then so you hope that happens, but then you see the decisions that are being made when it comes to lines, and like going into the game, tonight's game against the Ducks, it was, what is it, Dickinson and Joey Anderson on the top line
Yeah.
with Bedard.
Yep.
Like, I understand. Like, I'm not one of those guys that it's like, oh, this coach isn't getting wins for us, he's got to go, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I believe in Richardson for the fact of he had no reason for us not to believe in him for development, and that he knew exactly what the right way to do was to build his team, build his culture. I'm not so sure about that anymore. Like, I'm starting to waver a little bit based on some of the erratic decisions he's been making when it comes to line shuffling,
Yeah.
healthy scratching Taylor Hall with no conversation beforehand about it for any indication that that's even was even on the table. Granted, he should have probably noticed something, because I mean he's just not producing, and he's got what, 6 points in 18 games or 16
Yeah, and
games,
like
something like
we're
that.
those points came early, didn't they?
Yeah, but it's like, dude, you have this team that hasn't what?
I just look because of the Hawks game on it, and they just like went to a camera angle of Drew Comesso on the bench, and he just looks like a fucking child, just like a kid that got the chance to sit on the bench with the Hawks. It's just
All
like
like the
for some reason,
warm-ups.
yeah, because
Yeah.
he had his hat on. He's like,
Yeah.
it's
It's
like,
cool.
oh, this is cool. It's like, oh, I fucking love it, dude. You're gonna be
But
like the starting goalie of the future. Like, take it in.
but no, like, so what I'm saying though, it's like this is a team that's now back-to-back years that the roster has been just completely blown up and rebuilt. You got pieces in here that haven't played together, like, and you're not allowing these players to develop any sort of chemistry, and before you flip it, you give it a period, if that, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden you got some new combo out there. How is anything supposed to get going offensively, or just this team just get going in general, if it's always learning to play with new players
yeah.
every single game?
I don't know. It's like maybe you just get everybody's name on like a magnet, and then you just throw it at the board and see where the lines end up being. And
Yeah.
then,
That's what I
but
mean, that's what the lines tonight, that's what that feels like.
yeah, a little bit. But it's like, how much are you assessing that? Like, okay, like maybe Bedard needs somebody else to take faceoffs for right now. Like, okay, so who's the best option? Felino, maybe Dickinson, maybe. Okay, well, he's played with Felino, so let's give it a different shot because like we got to try and do something. So you're just trying basically anything to like spark something, because obviously nothing's worked.
Yeah.
You need some sort of kick in the ass in this team. And then, like that's the thing where I think we were already complaining, or I'd seen people complaining when he had Reichel on the fourth line still with Craig Anderson and Patty Maroon when he's playing amazing. And it's like, okay, well, all right, so we got to switch the lines up now and like move Reichel into the top six, and then things kind of get fucking weird, and like
No.
the magic kind of went away a little bit, and then it's like, okay, now we're like swapping everything back around, moving back to the fourth line, and then it's just, it's fucking the team. As much as like he's trying to just spark the lines, the team itself, like they're playing well defensively. The goaltending's really killing it for him. But like he can't make them score goals. Like they need to find a fucking way to score goals.
Right. And I mean, yeah, so going back to what you just said about the whole Reichel thing, when it's like, yeah, that line is playing well. You don't blow the line up and move Reichel up because, he's playing well. What you do is you increase that line as a combos role. You give them more shifts, you give them more minutes, you put them in different situations. That's what you do to keep things going. You don't blow it up because, oh, this player's doing great, so let's move him here and this one there and the other guy there. Like, no, the whole point of that is that line had chemistry. Keep them together, just increase the role, change it up.
Yeah.
I lost my train of thought with the other part you were saying. The offensive, like they're just not.
Yeah,
so
like
it's not on him.
You can coach to generate offense as much as you possibly can, but if the players can't put the puck in the net, then there's nothing you can fucking do.
Right, and I'm not on like team fire Richardson because of that. Like, they're not scoring goals and all that kind of stuff.
That shit that I'm seeing online where people are like, "This is ridiculous." Like, it's like, I mean, I don't like. I'm watching the games. I'm seeing the chances they're getting, and I'm just like, "How is this not going in? How is this not going in? How is this not going in? How did it not go in? How the fuck did it not go in?" And then they're just getting stellar goaltending, and the defense is playing like pretty damn good too. I'm just like, we should be winning all these fucking games. And it's like, there's nothing you can do if the puck just does not go in the fucking net. Like, I don't know.
Right. And the only time I even entertained the idea of moving on from Richardson already was today when Montgomery got fired. And I wanted Montgomery before they hired Richardson. Before they hired Richardson and before he went to Boston, I was like, Hawks need to get in on this. It's a guy, college coach, showed success out there. Perfect for bringing in here. He was available. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, if you had a reason to fire Richardson, I mean, now's the time to do it. I mean, but my main two things. So like my main issue right now too with Richardson and this whole line combo is I totally understand. You got nothing's working. You got to try whatever.
Yeah.
I feel though, and this is probably just me, but I feel at the same time, you're in a different situation with a player like Bedard. You have this generational talent that is already feeling the stress and you get feeling the heat about not being able to perform and put up goals and make things happen out there. The last thing you do, in my opinion, is put him with guys that are not on his level. Like, I know there's not, like, I felt like the move here would have been to try Taylor Hall, Teravainen, Bedard. Or
Bertuzzi and Hall, Bertuzzi, Teravainen.
Yeah. Like, or even Kurashev. And even Kurashev, who had success with them. I think at this point, with what you're trying to turn Bedard into and the role you're trying to have him play on this team, you need to, I hate to say it, like, you have to baby him a little bit. Like, you have to kind of protect him and give him all the tools and everything like that. And I think putting him with a Joey Anderson, while I like Joey Anderson, I think he's a great player for what his role is. That role isn't a top line.
No, it's a third line, fourth line guy.
He's the guy you put out there when you need that quick spark, like that throws a hit or makes a play. Like, that's what he is. Dickinson, I can argue him playing with Bedard. I could. But at this point right now, with where Bedard mentally is, I think the move is you got to just load up that top line. Yeah, it's going to hurt the other lines, but your main goal right now is to get Bedard develop into the player you want him to be. Yeah, I might be wrong there, and that's just kind of like how I kind of see it and all that. And that's one thing that I'm kind of like, I don't. At the end of the day, this team is going to be a bottom 5 lottery pick team, or draft lottery team, and. So what are you trying to do? Like, get offensive going from everybody, or are you trying to help Bedard develop the best? And selfishly, I think you got to look at what's going to develop Bedard the best, because majority of those guys aren't going to be here when it comes time to play important hockey again.
Well, when you're talking about developing Bedard too, like, what are your thoughts on like how he's moved to the wing so far?
I think I mean, I've been saying that I don't know if he's a center. And I think the problem is that there is no centers on this team that they have
Mhm.
to keep putting him on there. He went what, Vancouver? He was 0 for 8 in the draw. Was that Vancouver? Was that Seattle? I know
Yeah, it was
one of the
It was one of those.
yeah,
But
it's
like
like he has
the thing is too, like
he's
if we're
winning
not if
29% of his faceoffs this year. He's 41 against 99.
yeah, so I think if you want him to be a center and if he wants to be a center, I think you just gotta leave him there. And
You
just
got
like
it. Yeah.
you just gotta let it fucking burn. Like, and then he'll either get it or after enough time, you're like, yeah, see, like we've given you X amount of time to do this. Like it's not you're no longer just like the young kid that's trying to figure it out. It's like it's just you not happening. But
Right.
I
I like
think
that he's working with Yannick Perreault. I liked how they have him doing that at
yeah,
practice and
I don't know
stuff.
how that's not working out well.
Hawk score.
Yeah, of course, Bedard Dickinson.
Oh shit. See, well, there you go. I kind of said I could make an argument for Dickinson. Now, if it was Joey
Oh,
Anderson, I would delete this entire episode and not
yeah,
post any of
just like,
this.
oh fuck, all right, start over. So they're
But
great.
yeah,
I
but no,
love
I
it.
mean, do I want Bedard to be the 1C for this team? Yeah, of course.
Oh, absolutely.
But don't fucking force it and handicap the kid. Like the longer you play you ride the fence of will he be a center, will he not be a center, this or that, like that's gonna make it even longer and harder for him to develop. Look at Lucas Reichel.
Hmm.
Was he a winger? Was he a center? Let's play this. Oh, let's do this. Like they always did that. And like I know it's different player, different type of, skill level in terms of overall projection. But I mean, that kid, his development definitely hurt riding that fence.
Yeah, yeah. That whatever they did last year, isn't he? He's playing center currently,
I think he's center again. Yeah.
but he's not. Second line center. He's fourth line
No, he's
center
yeah.
right now.
Right.
So it's a
Which
little bit
hey,
different.
I mean, then that's probably ideally with a young kid like that, that's the play. It's like you put him on that third, fourth line center, and you give him those couple like 10 shifts a game and then hopefully takes maybe 5 faceoffs in that time and just kind of gets it down, and then you build the confidence and you move it on. But it's like you're not going to do that with Bedard. You're not going to put him on the
No,
third, fourth line and risk him going after those grinders and all that.
I think it's gonna be really funny when like 3 years down the line we're like, man, he's so good at faceoffs. And fuck, holy shit, how many points does he have already? Like that's insane. Like it's so critical at the moment, but like I feel like he's the type of player that like the kid broke his fucking wrist and did not want to stop shooting. Like
Yeah.
he loves hockey. I'm sure if there's something that he knows he's slacking in, or not slacking, just not as good as he could possibly be, I'm sure he's gonna find a way to try and be the best at it. So that's one of
100%.
those things is I'm not worried about him being a center. But I'm just saying, like, I think that if he's gonna be a center, just keep him at center and let the growing pains happen because we're not looking at being a playoff team right now. Like let him get all the draws he possibly can before it becomes like, okay, we're competing. What's he looking like?
Yeah. And you said it before, and I asked you, I go, at what point in key situations are you gonna feel like is Bedard a liability in the faceoff dot? And you're like, until the games are coming down to playoffs or something like this, he's like, he's not a liability, he's not an issue.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too, that it's like what you just hit on, nailed it, is that I think the pressure for him is so much higher because everything is on him, the attention to him. Like there's just nothing else going on for this team
Yeah.
except building this generational talent. And I think that's why it's like everybody's like criticizing every little thing he's doing, because
Oh
it's like
yeah.
that's all we're looking at. We're only
Dude,
looking at him and his development and all that.
it's like
Like
how come the Hawks aren't winning games? Like why isn't he scoring 6 points a game? It's like, oh Jesus
right.
Christ. Like he's gonna be so good. He already is so good. And
I'm not.
like it's one of those. This is probably one of the first times that he's like really had struggles on scoring,
Yeah,
and
and
we'll see how long it lasts.
yeah, and like you said, going on like 3 years, we're gonna be like, oh, he's so good at faceoffs and all this, and it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, and I'm not gonna take back any of the criticism I'm having now right now because like the criticism I have now is for the current version of the player, and the
right.
frustration that we have as fans is the same that he has himself of just like, we know he can be doing so much better. He knows he can be doing so much better, and it's just like, let's get to that point. Like, come on, like let's simulate the season and just get to next year, and his overall goes up by 4 points, and we're back again and winning hockey games.
He's a 93. He's got an 87 face-off rating. It's like
Yeah. The other thing too, so I mean, since we're using this episode as a therapy session, I go, my big issue right now too was with KD. So not, I shouldn't say it's a big issue. It's a critique I'm having him right now is that we know that our center position is our weakness right now. We have no depth at center. Our depth or future centermen are in Rockford, or they're playing, junior or college or whatever. We aren't bringing in players, so it's like he doesn't bring in centers, guys that can actually take draws, play the center position, and he expects these guys that are like center winger,
yeah,
mostly play center or winger, but
not like
he can
true
take some
centers.
draws. Yeah,
Yeah,
like, and then it's like the question, it's like, well, why is this team so bad in the middle? And it's like, because we're not building up the middle. We're
yeah,
adding lots of pieces on the outside, and then it's just like, all right, fucking figure it out up the middle. Like, have fun. Like,
right. Here, let's start off by losing every draw, and we'll start off playing defense, and then hopefully get a turnover, and before our guys are tired and they can head down the ice, and then they'll do a little dump change, and then hopefully try and get puck possession on the next change. Like,
yeah. So it's it's just a critique of like, I kind of on there, because it's like you see the moves he made, and it's like it's all exciting on paper, but then when you look at it and you see it play out, and it's like, well, fuck, he didn't bring in the actual players that we need for right now. So it's like you can't get and he's doing a good job not being overcritical of
mhm,
Luke Richardson's like effort and the team and all that. And like I think he understands that he's not providing the assets needed, all
mhm.
this kind of stuff. But if it comes next year, he's like, oh, we need to go to the next level, and then he doesn't address the center position again. Okay, well, then what the fuck are we supposed to do? Like, how is this team supposed to go to the next level with incomplete team?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. We'll see. I think like the plan is just so much more of a long term kind
Yeah.
of idea. That's why like the center situation is not top of mind for this season rather than like how the team's going to look, 3 years from now. Oh, damn it.
Right. No, yeah, and I agree. And at the same time though, I just question like the whole not having the center position, while it isn't important, I just question, is it because you're seeing the negative effects not having guys in that position is pulling on this team.
Yeah.
That's like it's like, and again, I 100% agree with what you're saying too. Like, at the end of the day, it's not a big deal because, like we said, Nazar is tearing it up in Rockford, and he is probably going to be the 2C.
Yeah.
And then, who knows who they're going to be bringing in when they decide to spend, especially if the salary cap is going to go up more than what they initially thought. Like you were telling me with Friedman on 30 Thoughts, it could go up to 97 potentially.
Yeah, max 97, maybe 95, somewhere between there. He was saying on there too that like the cap should be over 100 million already. But like they had safeguards put in to not go up too quickly because of like the whole COVID thing. And I was
Yeah.
like,
It's like it could
oh,
only go up like 5% unless both
yeah,
the PA and the NHL agreed or something.
yes. which apparently it went up because right now, no, not right now. Right now it's like 90 something, isn't it? Or no, is it 88?
It's 88.
88.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think it's
because
88.
he was saying that it was the 5% increase was actually going to put it at 87.7, and then
And they just
they agreed to just be like, let's just make it 88. Um, but it would be interesting because like if it goes up even further, I saw something, I forgot, it was like an article that was like saying how it could possibly actually be bad for the Hawks because they have so much cap space and they were going to utilize that still, attract free agents and everything. But now that teams are actually going to have even more cap space than they thought, they might actually be able to hold on to some players that they thought that they were going to end up losing to free agency because of the cap restrictions. So it's like,
yeah.
okay, that's fine. Sounds good. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. But I mean, we'll take Mitch Marner. It's fine. Just have him go to free agency. I'm over it. I think it'll be great. Like he can come here. He can get
I'm
paid
not
12 million. Play on the wing with Bedard, and
I'm not
then
that
it's
desperate
just
yet.
disgusting. It'll be good.
Not that desperate yet.
I I don't even know who else who else we could get.
I think we can get I think Rotten. I think we can convince him to leave Colorado.
Yeah, and then Kaprizov the following season.
Yeah. With McDavid at the same time.
Yeah, why not?
That solves our center problem right there. Boom.
Bang.
Boom. But yeah, it's a lot going on right now, and it's a lot of frustration. And in fairness, it should have been expected. There's zero reason for us to think that anything different would be the result. I think we expected a little bit more of a fight and a little bit more up in the standings. But at the end of the day, too, like looking at the standings, yeah, the Hawks are currently sitting 32 with 13 points, but there is 4-point difference between them going from 32 to 21.
Mhm.
Like it's
And
just
if it makes you feel better too, the Hawks have fewer goals given up than a majority of the teams in the bottom 20 of the NHL.
yeah, there's
Actually,
plenty
shit,
of
let me
yeah.
sort by goals against. Because if they literally can just score 2 goals a game, they'd be sitting really good. I hate that they don't reorder the
Oh, the
numbers on these
numbers, yeah.
teams. That's like, oh, okay. So the team that's giving up the fewest goals is the Rangers, and they rank 9. Great, thank you, appreciate it,
Cool.
much appreciated.
Thank you,
um,
Mississippi.
yeah, but the Hawks are 56 goals against. Like, there's plenty of teams that are way worse than them.
Standing wise, yeah, it's not looking great for the Hawks. But we talked about it last episode. We're seeing progress. We're seeing good things happening and all that. And I stand by what we said that episode. I like the team is going in the right direction in terms of development. It's just puck luck and scoring goals and getting
Yeah,
into the win column. That's no, that's it. That's it.
that's it. They
Very
or
minor
so
things.
as of today, before this game ends, which is actually hilarious because it's tied 1-1 at this moment. The Hawks and Anaheim are tied for last in the league with goals for. Right now, 44 because of this first period that just ended. Um, it's interesting that Anaheim actually has fewer goals against, but that's because Lucas Dostal has been disgusting.
Yeah.
Um, but for the most part, if the Hawks, what I was saying at the beginning of the podcast, if they can just score a second goal, that's all they need. They're getting points because their goaltending has been lights out. And if they can keep that up and just get at least a point pushed to OT, Bedard's absolutely filthy in 3-on-3. Oh my god! If we can get to OT tonight, and if he can score a big overtime goal, I think that's like, give me the Dustin Byfuglien monkey off the back celebration for him, because that's going to be so nice. And I think then we can start seeing maybe a few more wins. All they have to do, get 2 goals. That's it. They haven't been able to do that the last 5 games. But that's just small sample size of like how the team could be in a much better position in the standings. Because
and
on ice, they don't look terrible. They just can't fucking score.
And that's the hard thing to like hit home, you know?
Yeah.
Like it
is better hockey than it was last year. It is better
100%.
hockey than it was last year.
100%.
And it's just not, it does not show up on paper. It doesn't show up on the fucking Excel sheets in the standings.
They're not like take comfort in knowing they're not getting blown out. The worst game was Detroit and Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
And even though, like you said, a lot of those look worse because of empty netters. So it's like they're playing there. Like everybody's got to breathe. Are we ranting and complaining in this episode? Yes, because you know what? You need to rant a little bit. You need to express the frustration and talk out everything. What?
I went to last year at this time. I guess the Hawks had played. Okay, so the Hawks have played 2 more games this season so far. Than they did this time last year, and this time last year they had the exact same amount of goals against average or goals against. Yeah, they had 56 goals against, but they had 2 fewer games. So that means they were giving up more goals per game at this point last year, and they were but they also had 40 goals. So I think they technically had more goals per game than they do currently this year, which is so weird.
Which adds up.
Yeah.
How things are going. But
it's just the way she goes, man.
It's going to happen. Things are going to. That's the thing I've learned about my life in hockey is for as long as the hockey gods are screwing you over with puck luck, once it takes one, you get that one, and then it's just like the receipts are being returned to you, and you get 2, you get 3, you get 4, and then boom, boom, boom.
The tides are turning.
Yeah, it is. Hockey is a stupid game when it comes to stuff like that. Like it's the most frustrating thing in the world, but it's why we love it.
That's right. Very true. It would be so funny if November ends and December, the Hawks all of a sudden are 6 wins in a row, and they're all 3-1 games because they end up scoring 2 plus an empty netter for themselves in each of those games. And then all of a sudden everybody's like, oh my God, the Hawks, they're so good. It's like they've been good. They just had no fucking puck luck.
You want to be delusional.
Yeah, absolutely.
St. Louis Blues were in last place in January when they won their Stanley Cup.
Yeah, and they were worse. Oh, speaking of the Blues and speaking of December, Winter Classic. Just saw that come that on the schedule here. That's gonna be sick. I just realized I don't have TNT, so I can't even watch it. Hell yeah, dude. That's so cool. Maybe I'll convince my wife to go to her parents. We'll just go there because I'm pretty sure they have cable.
Get a free trial of HBO Max.
Is that what? Oh yeah,
you could.
Yeah. I could. Maybe I'll do that. We'll see.
I'm sure you could sail the 7 seas and find out.
Oh, I'm already doing that on a regular basis. Yarr.
All right. Well, 45 minutes into this episode talking about this. I think we're gonna keep it nice and simple today. And there's really not much to talk about in terms of difference in the game recap. There's no points. It was copy paste.
It's the same game. It's the same game for 5 different teams.
NHL talk wise, I mean, Ovechkin is hurt, unfortunately, but I think he is going. I mean, it's not. I think he is. He is going to break this record this year. Yeah. And if he didn't get hurt, I think he was going to do it by the 4 Nations tournament.
Yeah, right. I think now it's just setting up for a perfect end of the season, record breaker.
They're trying to plan it out with. So he scores it with against Crosby. Yeah. So they're like, dude, we got to shut you down for a couple weeks.
You're too
you
hot.
can't have it. Scored fucking 5 goals in 2 games, back-to-back
Yeah, I thought he was
games.
going to get back-to-back Hatties. Oh, my God. That would have been sick.
Who was that on Utah that hurt him? Fucking 20 game
Jamie
suspension.
McBain.
20
But
game
I
suspension.
honestly, I don't think he wasn't trying to. It just seemed
No.
like they both kind of collided without even realizing the other guy was there.
No,
It
100%.
wasn't like the Ryan Reeves on Darn person. Oh my
Dude,
God.
I don't know who I
Talk
saw
about
tweeted
attempted
it.
murder.
Dude, one of the best tweets I saw, and I wish I remember who tweeted it, was like, I know everybody's all pissed at Ryan Reeves. All he was trying to do was help Dylan Nurse read the back of his jersey. It's like the one angle
Oh my
is like
God.
Nurse looks like he's looking literally at his name.
Yeah, well, I don't know. He also came around the back of the net with like his head down. And it's kind of like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? But still hit him pretty high.
It was a bad hit. I mean,
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
yeah. Was Nurse a little dumb for head down? You can make that argument, yes.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you also probably shouldn't be like worried
Yeah.
about getting your fucking head drilled 180 degrees.
I wonder if because he's a big guy, if he's kind of like not worried about, taking it around the back of the net with like not really looking.
That's kind of bad awareness, though, not realizing that Reeves is out there.
He's got pretty bad awareness on like who's around the front of the net in the first place. So
that's true. The one guy that can actually do fucking damage. His only job is to fucking hit people, and you don't know he's out there. Okay.
What else happened? JT Miller is out for indefinitely for personal reasons. I feel like there was something else. I can't think.
Austin Matthews is in Germany getting treatment for his injury.
He's in Munich.
Or Munich, yeah, sorry.
No, you're right. That's still Germany.
Is it Germany?
Yeah, isn't it?
Dude, I'm a fucking idiot today. Jesus.
I don't know. What else?
Montgomery fired. Mrazek is out for personal reasons as well. That's why they called for Camiso. It's nothing like crazy, I don't think.
No. That's really it. I don't really think there might have been something else over the last like 2 weeks.
Oh my God, did you see Shesterkin talking about he's like on a mission to get a goalie goal and Celebrini knocked the puck down? Did you see what he said?
Yeah, isn't he supposed to be in school?
Yeah.
That's absolutely hilarious. Celebrini also with a OT winner the other night.
Mitchkov with an OT winner too, I think.
Oh, yeah, dude, ever since Mishkov got benched, it's on fire. Maybe that's what we need to do with Bedsy.
I'm telling you, send a Rockford for a week.
Can you imagine if Richardson scratched Bedsy? How just the calls for his head?
I think, you know what? If Richardson were to scratch Bedsy, I think as he's telling him he's doing that, he is packing up like boxes in the office because he knows that was the last move as a Blackhawk.
He's putting the stuff in the box. Hey, you're not playing tomorrow night. Coach, what are you doing? I'm getting ready to get the fuck out of here. I already know the consequences of this one.
All right. So episode 297. We're just gonna call this therapy session.
Yeah, right.
Keep it simple. You know, I do feel a bit better talking about it.
Just scored 2. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
See if that happens tonight. The Hawks are 1-1 right now. We'll find out when this gets posted tomorrow if they just scored 2.
Just scored 2. Oh man,
that's all we need.
All right. Make sure to follow us on your favorite podcast feeds, Apple Podcasts and Spotify, the big two. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, social media at WCB Podcast. And what are you going to say?
I was just going to say, I don't know if you want to mention any of the games that are coming up, but, Florida later in the week. And then Mitchkov and Bedsy on Saturday. So that'd be sick.
Is that in Philly?
It's in Philly, yeah. And it's a noon game, too.
That's right. For some reason, the Flyers play all their games on the weekend at fucking 12 o'clock. I have no idea how they get that fucking scheduled, but...
It's the torts. You probably just pissed somebody off. He's probably just contacted somebody consistently, and they're like, "Fine,
fucking give it to you."
Stop calling me at home.
Well, next week will be Thanksgiving week, so we can take a look at playoff teams and see
where the
who's
Hawks
in and
stack up.
who's out. Yeah.
Well, would you say the Hawks were 4 points away from 21 right now?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Hawks have 3 games before Thanksgiving. That's 6 points. That's 6 points.
Never know.
You never know.
Crazier things have happened.
That gets them into Boston Bruins territory right now. And that's if every other team just loses.
Just a meteor hits every other team, and the Hawks they'll still find a way to like only score 1 goal playing against themselves. But
oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, we'll see you next week, guys.
All right, likewise. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the WCB podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast. To connect with Jarom and Tanner, check out the boys at WCB Podcast on all social media. We'll see you next time.